Good morning. Welcome to Fatima's World. How have you all been? Thank you for liking, for sharing. Most importantly, thank you for subscribing. I want more subscribers, please. Let's keep learning. Fatima's World is basically about families, relationships, better homes, better children. I say all the time, the family is the bedrock of any society. People have come in box and they've asked me several questions. So today again, I would be treating one of the most sought after questions and topics. So today I would be treating parental rejection and the consequences. Tough. Okay. So maybe I should start by defining in my words what rejection is. Rejection to me is something everyone has had to deal with at some point in our life. I often say that, well, there's no big deal about it. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of life. After all, being rejected by a parent or by parents and the people who should naturally love and accept you, there's no pain like that. That's the truth. When a parent rejects you, your foundation is immediately broken. Everyone naturally has two parents, whichever way you want to look at it. Except, of course, a woman buys sperm from the sperm bank. That happens a lot now. You know those women who are motivational speakers, the feminists? I don't need a man. So they go to the bank and buy sperm. But if that doesn't happen, naturally, every woman who is a normal human being, would naturally, need to cohabitate with a man. So having a child is the coming together of a man and a woman. That's what produces the child. Automatically, it is expected that you have a mother and a father. But when one or both are deprived, once they make you feel rejected, once, any one of them says, well, for whatever reason, I'm leaving this marriage, and then you're left. You're deprived the feeling of love. You're deprived the feeling of incorporation. No warmth. The warmth that others get to experience from their own parents. And this can lead to major insecurities as a child, and consequently, as an adult. The feeling of pain, that feeling of sadness, of shock, of anger, of denial, of frustration, sometimes obsession. It often arises from parental rejection. So it is important to learn how to handle these moments. Very important. These feelings takes up, a whole lot of space emotionally and can hinder you from thriving. I have seen cases of mothers rejecting their own child. But the most common in this part of the world is the conspicuous absence of a father in the life of his child. I can relate, either deliberately or otherwise. People ask me, Fatima, why do you think these things happen? Is it natural for a parent to totally and deliberately reject a child that they brought to this world? What are the causal factors? Well, with the little that I see around me, and with some researches that I did, and of course with some information that I have gathered from people's experiences and others, and even mine, I found that some mothers deliberately use their kids as weapons of battles against the father of their children. Sad. They weave a web of anger and bitterness till it engulfs everyone around them, especially the child, and there seems to be no way out. By the time they feel better with their emotions, they have destroyed the child emotionally, psychologically, and every otherwise. The deed is done. The father is out of the child's life totally, hence the feeling of rejection. This is not to say that there are no deadbeat dads. We have some of them. But believe me, knowing that a man is a deadbeat makes it easier for the child to bear. And that may not affect his or her esteem. However, knowing that your father does not even know of your existence can be a major blow below the belt. You know that feeling? No matter how hard you try, that feeling of being empty, that vacuum is usually there. It's not something you can shrug off your shoulders. No matter how educated you are, with all the, what is it called in the world, you can't brush it aside. No matter how much careers or how much degrees that you have, it's not something you can shrug off. Findings have shown that children perceived rejection, either from the mother or the father, as a negative outcome for their psychological and social adjustment. Every rejected child tends to compare themselves to other children. You see them manifesting significantly more problems. The personality of these children was characterized by dependency, low self-esteem, self-adjustment, sometimes readjustment, emotional instability, and a negative worldview. I'll briefly use the example of one of my darling daughters. Is it just one of my daughters? I have quite a number of examples. Quite a number of examples that has helped to reshape my life. But let me use one, that of one of my daughters. She's based in the US. She is accomplished, but every time there's a need for the touch of a father, she feels that vacuum. She was speaking to me 2 days ago, and she said to me, "Oh, mommy, I still feel like I lack something in my life." And that's because her father rejected her at birth. And we've been on it for a couple of weeks. We're trying to, look for how to reconnect her back to her father. That has been really, 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 really tough. But, we pray that somehow we're able to get this over it, because she's over 30. And I've said that consequently, a child who feels, rejected would feel like, I don't even want to have anything to do with a man. There are daughters who are always on the edge because of the stories that their parents have told them. They just want to stand, always in the defensive. You look at them very well, they are the aggressive wives in the house. It's difficult for them to love themselves, let alone love anybody. They have learned to live with rejection the better part of their lives. Well, this has not been the case with a whole lot of people. For some other people, it's not as tough as it is when you know that you have a father somewhere, and the father doesn't even seem to know about you. You find yourself, in a web of, what do I want to do? But the truth of the matter is, no matter how terrible it seems now, for every child who is living with rejection, let me admonish you, life can be better. Just plug into the King of Kings, the Father of every other father that is earthly. Begin to dwell upon his words. If you're a Muslim, take the Holy Quran. Begin to read about the teachings of the Prophet. And then, by and large, with time, it begins to change your mindset. You will just wonder that I've had different cases. I deal with these cases all the time. But believe me, every child wants a father. And so I'm speaking to every child who feels deprived, every child who feels, well, I need a father. Today, I ask for the peace of God to flow through your mind. I ask for that love, that can break mountains, to pierce through your emotions, to help you change your mentality, to help you have a new lease of life, and to give you the desired peace that passes all human understanding. Thank you for staying with me on Fatima's World this afternoon. I hope I've been able to touch you, your life in that particular area that it mattered most. Thank you very much.